I'm Emilia Tamburini. I am the host of the Circle of Change podcast and the CEO of Hum Consulting. Today, I want to talk to you about one way to conceptualize trauma so that you can understand why we think it's so important for acknowledging it in being the change. My knowledge of trauma comes from restorative justice. No one enters the criminal justice system without having experienced some form of heartbreaking trauma in their early years. Gabor Mate, who is an expert in trauma, describes it as a wound. And if you think of a wound, there's scar tissue built up around it. And that scar tissue is rigid with no nerve endings. In other words, it's constricting and there's no feeling associated with it. The impact that that scar tissue has on us is that it separates us from a part of ourselves. How I like to conceptualize it is that we build up walls around these really tender parts of us, but those walls prevent a piece of us from shining through. Where we see trauma come alive is when that wound somehow gets nudged in our later life. So, for example, when I was young, my parents had a pretty tumultuous relationship. They separated when I was 5 and then went through a really toxic 5-year custody battle in court, after which time my dad moved a really long ways away. There were many traumas that I internalized during that period, one of which was abandonment. And I see that trauma showing up in my most intimate relationships today. So when there's potential for someone to get close to me, that trauma gets nudged. And I find all sorts of creative ways to push those people away so that I don't have to relive the pain of abandonment. It's a way for me to stay in control and also keep myself safe. It also justifies the anger I feel toward those people at the time. But of course, what results is loneliness and disconnection. Today, I know that my parents and I were only acting out of our own traumas and that we were doing the very best that we could. And that lens has really helped me heal my relationships with them and also myself. When we're able to see people and situations through the lens of what happened to you versus what's wrong with you, it is amazing what can be healed. When I look at the divisiveness in the world today, I see unconscious trauma at play. And it's why I believe that we will not get very far in changing the world if we don't all start courageously looking at our own traumas. We are going to keep exploring this theme this month. So let me know if you have any questions in the chat. I'd also love to know what is coming up for you as you take in these words. Ciao.